Hey guys, and welcome back. I'm actually walking down my driveway at the moment because I actually had a composting idea that I'm hoping will actually be a good idea. If you guys have seen in our other videos, this year was a terrible year for gypsy moths. It's the second year in a row we had really bad gypsy moth caterpillars. They've all died down now because there's a certain fungus that comes in when we have a lot of rain that kills them off. But either way, they did leave a lot of good stuff behind. You guys may notice that if you live in areas where you're dealing with these gypsy moths too. But if I can get right down here to it. Sorry, off a little bit early. Right down here, you'll see in our driveway, turn you around, all this here, it looks like it's just mud in the driveway. Well, what that all actually is that our driveway, and I apologize for the noise, it's kind of like a tunnel underneath the trees here. I don't know if you can see on camera, the trees are starting to come back, but the gypsy moths were doing a lot of damage down here. This is all actually gypsy moths poop. If you live where the gypsy moths are and you heard that noise in the woods that sounded like it was raining all the time, even though it wasn't, it's actually the gypsy moths pooping. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to go ahead and scrape this up with a shovel and add it right to my compost because I figure it's really no different than when we do the worm bins for composting and that kind of thing. All they've done is they've super kind of sped up the composting process when they were eating. All they do is they eat the leaves, digest it, and poop it back out. So it should really be full of a lot of good nutrients. So I'm going to come out here with a shovel and add that right on top of my compost bin to give it a good nutrient boost. All right, back up here where we store most of our wood, we've got a little pull off in the driveway here, like an extra parking spot. And so whenever we come home with loads of wood that we collect, we go ahead and pull right into this spot and dump it off and cut it up. You may have seen in some of our other videos, my husband has been going nuts on this area because this whole area was completely piled over with wood that had to be cut, it had to be split, it had to be stacked. So we've got quite a few rows going, a few deep and that kind of thing, and we have more wood to do. But my husband, once he got through all this wood, I'm barefoot so I gotta watch for poison ivy here because it's around. He did a really good job cleaning this spot up and making it really nice, and he's got his little fire pit where he burns wood while he's down here and keeps the bugs away and burns the crap wood that we wouldn't stack up anyways. But it's kind of nice because if you can see what the ground looks like from him using the chainsaw down here the whole time, sorry, really trying not to step in poison ivy with my bare feet, he took it all and raked up a ton of the excess here into the corner, and that's going to be its own really nice compost pile right there. And I could even bring it over and use it as some mulch before winter time if I wanted to. The only thing I'm going to be careful of is that if you see that bright orange root right there, we do have a bittersweet problem down in this area. So that's my only worry, is that it does look like maybe I've raked up some of the bittersweet into there, and I do not want that to go into my garden, because you can watch my video on bittersweet if you want, but that is a horrible, horrible invasive species that will kill everything. But either way, you can see how it's already starting to compost in here and getting that nice black. You can see the black patches sticking up, but I think that'll be something really nice and healthy, and he's just going to keep raking it up to there as he does all this cutting and everything. So that'll be really nice. We do have this little patch of woods over here. And this here was a little part of our day. My husband got out on a half day today for the weekend, and he went with me to deliver the eggs, and we had seen the tree companies cutting down a ton of the wood on the side of the road when we went to the beach last weekend. But we were on the way to the beach. We obviously weren't going to stop and pick up wood at the time, so we were going by that area anyway and said, hey, let's go see if the wood is still there. And it was. So we got a good truckload here that he's going to bring down and cut up and split and add back to that pile we were just talking about. But it's really nice to be able to just stop and get more and more wood. This is really nice wood load, and there's still actually a bunch there. I'd like to go back and get some, but I'm also letting my husband get a little rest here. He works a lot of overtime, so I'm letting him hang out for a little while. I talked to you guys a little bit back about how I want to turn this fenced in area into kind of a big area to do a bunch of propagating. And I started working on it, and already we've had a ton of rain, it's already coming back with a bunch of weeds and things are blowing up, so I gotta clear that up again. But I did start this little patch here. If you see all these grasses, these aren't weeds, this and all these. There's a ton of it. That's actually all blue-eyed grass that I transplanted over here from a nuisance area. I had talked about that in one of my other videos. But I actually did get it done, and it's almost out of its season now. It's done flowering, it seeded itself, but it's actually, it all took really well to the transplanting. Blue-eyed grass is actually part of the iris family. They're a really nice and healthy one there. It's actually part of the iris family, so just like any other irises, they're really easy to just come and heal into the ground and move them over. And then I actually have a little pot right here that I'd gone to my mom's house, and last year I had helped my mom clear out a ton of false indigo that she had that was seeding and deadheaded it, threw everything in the compost, and all those little false indigo seeds started sprouting themselves. So we dug up a couple and put them in here. So these little guys here are the false indigos. There's actually a weed in there. Pull that out. Ooh. There we go. The false indigos, and then there actually was columbine baby too. So these guys are pretty happy in the pot, so I'm letting them just kind of hang until they get a little bit bigger, and they're already quite a bit bigger than they were when I got them. They were probably about half this size when I got them. And then I'm gonna go ahead and make a big patch of those guys, and that's a really nice, beautiful plant that that's what I like about doing this, is I'd like to do some actual flower gardens around, but I'm not sure what I'm doing yet. So this area kind of gives me a space to get some things growing, and then I can go ahead and transplant what I want out of these gardens to make nice, beautiful flower gardens around the yard. So whenever we mow, I always choose just one or two spots throughout the yard where there's a lot of flowers coming in, whatever it may be, whether it's clover or any other kind of wildflower that's blooming at the time. And I'll just make a big circle where I don't mow it that one time, and then I'll mow it the next week and do a new one. That way the yard is still upkept. But it makes a really nice place for bees to come in and butterflies and have a rest stop along the way. Mama! Sorry, the kitty cat's pushing on my camera. I don't know if you can see in here, but this is just one of those circles. And it's nice because there are bees all over it. And it just really gives them a nice place and makes it so that the yard is still upkept. But we're, you know, sharing the area with the wildlife that needs it. And it also gives a place for other little guys to hide on the way through and things like that. There they go. But the bees are all over it. They're loving it. And this is just getting out of control. Totally out of control. The first onion flower there came in whenever the last time I made the video was, a couple days ago. It's the only one so far, but that means onions are about ready to harvest. And we have quite a few nice cucumbers in here. Nice big one back there. Probably the biggest one. Probably gonna pick that tomorrow. And we have a bunch of other ones that are about this size. I'm gonna let them get a little bit bigger. And you got little ones that are working on it. There's a bunch all over the place. Oh, we actually got a bee over here pollinating them, which is nice. Now this is my worst cabbage plant, but I have been getting control of these guys. We seem to be on the second wave now. Because as you can see, I don't know if you can see down there, but there's eggs. And that's the main thing that I've been pulling off at this point, is they're laying eggs in the cabbage for a second wave to come through. So I'm trying to keep control of that. And then I've got this little guy. I don't know, I've never dealt with this before. I don't know if they're good or if they're bad. I don't know if you can see these little beetles. And there's a bunch of them mating right now. But they're all over it. And I don't know if they're eating it or if they're eating the eggs. I'm not sure. I gotta look them up. I don't know if anybody's seen these guys before, if you can see them there. Okay, so that was just a quick little update for today. I gotta get back inside. My baby is cranking again. been really cranky this past week. He's got a second tooth coming in, and I think that it is getting to him, and he's been feeling very, just wanting you to be around and to hold him and to be in the room and that kind of thing. So I'm trying to make him feel better and all that good stuff. So I'm going to get back into him. But I will see you guys on the next one. I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend. Have an awesome Sunday. Make sure you guys take a break and get some rest. And we will see you on the next one. Love you all and God bless. Bye-bye.